Here's my letter afterwards. It's really hard to write with the feather, I have to admit, but it was a fun activity. I can't wait to see what you do. Come along and sing with me. Come, my friends. Historic harmonies. Soldiers true, honor due, with grateful hearts we pay. Flowers bring, praises sing on each memorial day. Soldiers brave, proud we wave our flags with cheer on cheer. Young and old ever hold our country's heroes dear. It's almost Memorial Day. And you know what that means. It's time to remember our wonderful veterans and soldiers that have fought for our freedom since the dawn of our wonderful country. I found a few very old songs that you can sing in remembrance of those you know who have served in our country. Maybe you have a neighbor or friend who has served, or maybe even a brother or father. Make sure you tell them thank you for being brave and fighting for freedom. On Memorial Day, my family likes to visit the graves of those in my family who fought in war. Here's a picture of me with my family at my grandpa's grave. He fought in the Korean War a long time ago. He was just barely too young to fight in World War II, but was glad to serve when it was his time. I was really young when he passed away, but I still remember dancing with him to old country music at his house. My family is learning about the Civil War this month. There were many people who gave their life in the Civil War, and there's a good chance that if you are from the United States, you are probably somehow related to someone who fought. I don't think I have any relatives that fought in the Civil War. My ancestors were living on the other side of the continent at that time. But I have a lot of ancestors who fought in the Revolutionary War, and even some ancestors that signed the Declaration of Independence. That was such a long time ago. It's when our country was born. I invite you to search out your ancestors and your living family to see who has served the country in your family. I'm sure you will find at least one. It's a great day to think of them and to show gratitude for our freedoms. Since we have been learning about the Civil War this month, we decided to do a fun activity here at my house. Why don't you come along on the journey with us, and maybe you can do it yourself later. First, you are going to get a piece of paper. If you have it on hand, lightly paint the paper with tea until it is all wet. Once it is painted, put it in the oven at 200 degrees for 5 to 10 minutes, or until it is dry. If the paper isn't dark enough, do it over and over again until it looks just like how you might like it. We painted our paper with tea 2 times. Then, when the paper is all dry, you might want to have your mom help you burn the edges a little bit. This isn't required, but it is a fun touch. Make sure you have an adult around if you do this step. It is dangerous to do this alone. The next thing you need to do is create the ink. Go outside or in your fridge and pick some berries, charcoal, or other very colorful plants to make the ink with. We picked mulberries on our neighbor's tree. After we brought the mulberries home, we smashed them all down to get the berries to break and release some of their pigment. Pigment is the color that the berries have that make the ink have color. Mulberries provide like a purpley color. And then, after we crushed them, we put it on the stove to simmer, adding a little bit of water at the bottom. After it simmered for a while, we strained all the berries pieces out and put a small amount of cornstarch in the remaining liquid to thicken our ink. Then we picked up some extra feathers from our chickens and dipped them in the ink and used it as a quill to write with. We then wrote letters as if we were on the battlefield during the Civil War with our own homemade ink. If you don't have feathers, paintbrushes work great too. During this time in our nation's history, they did not have pens and were sometimes short on ink, so they had to get creative. My whole family loved this activity, and I'm sure you will too. If you do this activity at home, would you please send us a picture through our Facebook page? I will put the link to our page in the description box below. That was such a fun activity. Here's my letter afterwards. It's really hard to write with the feather, I have to admit, but it was a fun activity. I can't wait to see what you do. If you want another fun Memorial Day song, check out our other video, Soldier, Soldier, Will You Marry Me? And play the game in that video with your own family. Thank you, veterans from Historic Harmonies.
Sing softly, sing softly.